Shalom. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahshua, Bashim, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, salutation, rocking, teach all truth and sincerity. Um, this is gonna be called "Being a Hypocrite." Um, can get you destroyed. It says this is James, uh, chapter 1, verse 22. It says, "But ye, Slaki, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves." So we gotta apply the scriptures to our life. We can't just hear this word and not, you know, change ourselves and become what's the word? Follow what is written. We gotta we gotta hear this word and we gotta definitely apply it to our lives. You know, because if we don't, we're basically deceiving ourselves. You know, we're not practicing what we're preaching. We're basically, like it says, deceiving ourselves. Verse 23 says, "For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a looking glass." Um, this remind me of that song that Michael Jackson basically wrote and sung. It was called "A Man in the Mirror." Um, basically, the the person in the mirror, that is you, the one that's looking in the mirror. You're your biggest enemy, um, and it's if we don't apply this word to our life, if we don't continue doing what is written in these scriptures, uh, it's basically going to be our utter destruction. Uh, Verse 24 says, "For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgotten what manner of man he was." And we basically don't follow Yahweh Yahshai's word to the T, to the best of our ability. It's basically we continue, I would say, to have one foot in the world and have one foot in truth. Um, it'd be like us turning back to it'd be like a dog turning back to his own vomit. Um, it, it's not I would say a good look because you're going back to filthiness when you could, uh, if you stay in and do what's written in the scriptures, you'll have a hand in holiness. But it's all up to the how about Shai if you continue to endure, and it's up to you if you want to, you know. Because there's only two ways, two pathways in this truth, either destruction or salvation. There's no in between. It's either that road or this road. Verse 25 says, "But whosoever look in the perfect law of liberty and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word, this man shall be blessed in his deeds." So if we continue on the path of salvation, we'll basically be blessed um, in the long run, because it says, "He that endureth to the end shall be saved." Uh, uh, I'm gonna go to Matthew. My next verse, I'm gonna get Matthew chapter seven, verse. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "This is Matthew chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, 'Judge not that ye be judged. Um, so we gotta, as I was saying, we gotta look at ourselves, basically examine ourselves before we just, point the finger at anyone else. We gotta thoroughly examine ourselves. Are we, you know, in this for the long haul? Are we just, like brothers would say, bullshitting? Uh, Verse 2 it says, "For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again." And we gotta constantly. Some brothers would say, I cuss my own self out before I even receive a cuss out for someone else. I always, you know, basically they look at their own selves before they even you know receive the correction from someone else. They basically correct themselves. Uh, Verse 3 says, "Why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, for consider not the beam that is in thy own eye?" So we gotta definitely examine ourselves continually as we continue in this, you know, walk. Verse 4 says, "And or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thy eye, and behold, a beam is in thy own eye?" So you can't just judge and pull out the you can't pull out the I would say not I would say you can't just uh pull out the slocky, my bad. I'm taking you can't just pull out the uh the beam and mote. That would mean like we can't. Hey, say if there's something if we're going off on something, we can't just judge someone. Like say if we're going off and the person did the same thing, and we can't just judge that person if we're doing the same thing that they're doing. Because one of the brothers have said one time when I was in his prayers, he said one time I couldn't, I had to, fall back on judging someone because I had to look at myself. So we got to look at ourselves before we enact judgment on someone else, basically. If that's explaining it that clearly, but yeah. And it says, "Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye." So basically, we gotta just examine ourselves thoroughly, and then we can, you know, go and, judge a matter. We can't just judge a matter and we're doing the same matter that's being judged. Um, and that's really, I'm gonna go to the next scripture I want to give was Proverbs, and then the last one is This is Proverbs 11, verse 9, right quick. It says, this is Proverbs 11, verse 9, "And a hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but thou not, but through knowledge shall be the just Slaki, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered." So with this knowledge and understanding, uh, if we're not applying it, we're considered a hypocrite. Um, but if we apply it and be basically a doer of the word, not just a hearer only, will our 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 deeds and our basically will be blessed. And my last scripture I want to get was Romans chapter 2 and verse 21, and that's This is Romans chapter 2, verse 21. It says, "Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest thou not thyself? Thou that preachest a man should not steal, doest thou steal? Thou that sayest a man should not commit adultery, doest thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, do thou commit sacrilege? Thou that make thy boast of the law, do thou break the law, dishonoring thou the Most High?" So um, so basically, this is all going through. Do we apply what we're teaching? Do we apply what we're preaching? Do if we boast in the law, do we follow the law? If, you know, basically that's what it's breaking down. We gotta look at ourselves before we look at anybody else. And I'm gonna say Shalom.